Almost there, folks. Hey, everybody. Fashionably late. I think I need to reset the stream times for like on the 15s or something. Taz is not with us tonight. Hey, 69. Yeah, Taz isn't feeling too good tonight. I'm kind of under the weather a little bit myself too, but I wanted to primarily just get the schedule on and do some updates for a few. This is going to be like a really short one. A lot going on though. Good stuff. I'm over on the eastern side of the United States, right around York, Pennsylvania, and man, over the last few days we've had microstorms going like crazy. Humidity's shot way up, gone down. Insane amounts of heat in this building here. Hi, Len. Yeah, Len, I saw a message from you on my messenger earlier this morning, but I had to shut messenger off because I had like 300 or 400 messages. A lot of them are pertaining to the artillery competition that we still have to get straightened out. Pretty soon you guys are going to be able to vote on stuff and we'll get that wound down. It's getting towards the end of the month. There's about another week to go on it yet. Hi, Ben. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, you'll see. Hey, Tracy. Yeah, for everybody starting to roll in, Taz isn't with us tonight. He's not feeling too good, so we put him to bed. He needed a break. He's in the same boat I am. He's had like tons of storms where he's at, and it nailed him a little bit harder today than it did for me. I'm sucking on hulls right now myself, actually. This is like really strange weather. This is probably like end of July, early August weather for what we're normally used to around here, so everything's all fucked up. No. No, but some of the things Taz has going on, he's pretty susceptible to weather changes and stuff like that, and he just hasn't had a great time the last couple of days. He's alright. He's a tough guy. But you'll see in the topic, of course, it's a short stack. Short stack meaning really short stream. I just wanted to give you guys some updates. I really didn't even want to, I wasn't paying attention at the time, and I really didn't want to get myself torn away from what I was in the middle of doing. You guys can kind of thank my kid for what's going to be coming over the next few days, or maybe even by the weekend. I've had a few requests from people, and finally from him, to do a profile package for Ideamaker. That's a slicer if you're not familiar with it, if you're really new to 3D printing. That's one of the only slicers I haven't bothered to touch right now, or haven't bothered to touch recently. I finally got around to it, and it's primarily because of the multicolor printing. People have seen the earlier video that I did to show you how you can easily do multicolor printing with Simplify 3D. But the thing with Simplify 3D, as some of the people who do know, Simplify 3D costs 150 bucks versus Ideamaker is free, and it has pretty much the same features. It's got a lot of the same features, and it's got some other, we'll say, different ways of doing things. For somebody who is not used to working with slicers all the time, it's, you know, probably going to be a lot easier on you guys than it would be on somebody like me who's already deeply entrenched in Simplify 3D, Cura, and Prusa Slicer. So, needless to say, this morning My son shot me a message and he said, Dad, I loaded up, he's 10, mind you. Dad, I loaded up Ideamaker and I created a profile for it and it's working really, really good. And I'm like, oh, maybe I can get somebody in on this that has a little bit more time than I do. And it's like, maybe I'll let him put a profile package together. And I started thinking, he goes, Dad, you need to look at this. It's really super easy. And he goes, I know you can do multicolor prints with it. And I was like, huh? Now, quite a while back, I can't even remember when, I shot Ideamaker a question. I didn't get a response for a long time asking, hey, you guys ought to put processes, into Ideamaker. You ripped off everything else from Simplify 3D. Which that probably wasn't the greatest approach to take with them because I didn't get a response for a long time. And then finally, I don't know, back beginning of the year or so, I did get a short message back saying, well, we don't have any plans to put processes in. And I kind of shot a nasty response back to them. And what they failed to tell me is they had already been working on and already had implemented to some degree something very similar. They just didn't finish the sentence. So when I found that out, I got a response back then, and I just said, it's just another slicer at this point. I looked at it, I set it up. Recently, Joel Telling threw up a little mini video on it, and I said, well, yeah, it's going to be time to look at it here pretty soon, and I just put it on the back burner. Well, my kid coming at me today with it, assuring me, hey, Bullis, haven't seen you in a little while. You've already missed my new shirts. Not tonight, man. Anyways, yeah, my 10-year-old assured me, he goes, Dad, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do multicolor prints with it. I'm going to be trying it myself today. I'm like, okay, well, I better get off my ass and do something. So I rearranged my schedule a little bit and I started looking into it. And yeah, it appears that be able to do multicolor prints really super easy. It's just when you're used to doing it with Simplify 3D, there's a set way of doing it. I've already done a video on that. It's on the 3D Nexus YouTube channel. I started looking at it right away, and it's like, I really need to step back and I need to set up a profile for this and everything. In other words, don't get ahead of myself. So I started working on that, and lo and behold, it took me like a whole 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to set up a really good working 020 layer profile and then a 016 layer profile, like in a whole grand total of 20 minutes. Threw them on the printer, did some test prints, and it's like, well, these came out pretty good. Bullis, Taz is under the weather tonight, and the old dude is entrenched in a online game at the moment, so we don't take pictures of that. So, this is short stack tonight, Bullis. That's a term for a kind of a short update stream. We got a lot going on here. It's finally getting caught up on stuff. Oh, okay. You guys chat amongst yourself. I'll just keep on talking and you guys can listen to what I'm ranting about. Anyways, on the screen, that's series 2 on 2 printers. There's 2 other printers that are running test prints right now. I'm testing some of the additional features in Ideamaker. And on the one on the right, on the lab cam right there, that is a Benchy. I'm still not thrilled about printing Benchies, but for oh, Bullis, what's everything okay, guy? We've missed you the last few streams, but then again, you kind of got caught up. We had a bad week where we didn't do any streams almost, just because I was out of it. It's under the weather. Everything all right? Ideamaker is another slicer. One of the enticing features that I will give it is it does have, and after testing it today, I'm pretty happy with how far it's come along. It has manual support placement that is, I'm told, don't hold me to this, it's pretty much derived from what and how Simplified 3D does things, which that basically that basically means that for those of you out there that don't want to drop $150 on Simplified 3D, or get the trial version that's floating around out there that everybody on the internet knows about. I already caught some shit for mentioning that on the groups before, and it's like, anybody who's been doing this for any short amount of time knows that this is the internet, and software, if it's worth having, people find ways around copyright protection and whatever. That doesn't mean I endorse it. As a matter of fact, I tell people, like, hey, I'm not going to judge or anything like that, but if you like it, pay for it, and pay for it and use it. Me personally, I got it a few years back, probably going on 4 almost. I paid the money, and I've been happy with it ever since. I've never had any complaints. I don't mind spending money on good tools. There's other people out there I also know that have probably been using it for the same amount of time and never paid for it. So I don't judge anybody, and do what you want. But Ideamaker is different. If you're used to Simplify 3D, it's going to fuck you all up for the first 10 or 15 minutes. I know I kind of had to go back, and I've probably spent more time going back and rechecking myself versus actually exploring some of the additional or some of the different features in it. Hey, Cornfed. Anyways, I'm working on that, and let me see if I can get this pulled up real quick here. Maybe. Yeah, here's just a quick shot of what I got going on right now. This is a Silver Surfer model that I'm goofing around with, and let me get on the right spot on my screen right there. I'm gonna just to give you an idea, one of the enticing features of Simplify 3D that people have always talked about is the supports, the ability to put in manual supports. And close that preview there. And just like, keep in mind, I'm having to kind of look at this on a weird screen here. I've already got my support set up from an earlier model that that I've got printing on one of the other printers right there. There we go. And let's see here. Boom. And surprisingly, for all intents and purposes, this works and acts just like Simplify 3D does. You can go ahead and place manual supports. I've already tested them on some prints, and it's working out great. I'm going to put together a profile package for probably the initial release of it. I'll do the standard for everybody, just PLA, 020 layer height, 016, and 012. And realistically, I could probably, do a few more layer heights for people. And as far as removal goes, it's the same way. You just go ahead and click on remove. Bam. Isn't that beautiful? You can go through, and remove individual supports. And one of the, if before I get any packages out or anything like that, if you guys are going to, start experimenting with it yourself, just take your time with it, and keep in mind, and I've encountered this with more than one person out there, you can alter the supports on the fly. So in other words, let's say we're working in a different area and we want to bump the support resolution down. Let's go ahead and add one right there. This was another feature of Simplify 3D, you know, that really made it stand out from some of the other slicers out there. So for me, like I said, already having the experience with setting up all the other slicers and everything like that, I jumped right into it. I had good working profiles up and going in about 20 minutes. Ran some quick tests on them and everything like that. They printed up beautiful. Kind of shocked myself a little bit, but when you're already used to working with, you know, things like retraction, coast, Z-hop, stuff like that, you kind of already know to go over that stuff, and you already have set in the back of your mind at what the good settings are going to be that you're already using with functionality in your other slicers, and it's going to be the same. If you've got good settings in Cura or Prusa, you can carry them right over to Ideamaker yourself manually. The big thing I want to get put out for everybody, the big talk in the artillery groups this week, has been the multicolored prints. And I've already dropped a couple of Tony Starks. Ben, you say some life-size weapon props. You need a large print bed and good print quality. What are you looking at? 300 by 300? That's what the Sidewinder is currently. Artillery is working on a few more printers that are going to be released this year. I can't tell you too much more about that. If you're needing a bigger print bed, larger format printers that are out there right now, all of the top brands have got like 400s, and there's even a couple of 500s out there. I was just watching a guy on YouTube. He's been on for the last year or two. He did this insanely huge 3D printed printer. It's got like a, don't hold me to this, but it's got like a 800 by 800 print bed. And to me, if I was actually going to mess around with something that huge, I'd want to build it myself. I don't trust any of the other companies out there, and I know enough about printers. I could build one myself, and I'd take the route that he did. I'll see about, I'll grab his video that I saw, because he finally finished this big one that he's been working on for some time, and I kind of been indirectly following him. And I like his design. It's all solid, and I believe he's open sourcing it. So I'll get a link and put that on the 3D Nexus website after the stream's over with. But Roxas, can it slice resin? Oh, Ideamaker. I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. I haven't dug that deep into it. I literally, guys, I've only been goofing around with it for the last few hours just before the stream, and that's kind of where I lost track, and it's like, oh shit, stream time. I'll have more on it, and we'll probably talk more about it on Wednesday. I'll have, you know, more to show you guys and everything. I might even have a release package of profiles up. And guys, I'm only saying this because I'm already used to working with the slicers and stuff like that. There's other, I believe each and every one of you out there is capable. If I say it's easy, you know, and then all of a sudden you dive into something and it's like giving you a world of shit or something like that, I apologize. I can only give you my perception on it. It was so stupid easy, and my kid is kind of responsible for this, actually. He's the one that was bugging me this morning and telling me about multicolored prints and stuff like that. So he's the one that's kind of lighting a fire under my ass to put something out for you guys to play with if you want it. Well, Ben, the Sidewinder X1 will fit your bill for you. If you're, it's got a 300 by 300 by 400, and you know you can go to town with it. If you're just going to be doing tall stuff, I'll make the recommendation, and it's just it doesn't matter if it's a Sidewinder or any other design printer with a gantry, you know, that you're going up that high with. Do yourself a favor and take the damn filament holder off of the top of the printer, and a a brace. If you're going to be doing tall prints on a regular basis, it won't hurt to brace the printer. I don't brace ours here because I rarely go up above maybe 250 or almost 300. But if I was going to be, you know, hitting up towards max or something like that and wanting to clock some speed in, I'd think about bracing it up. So, okay, let me get out of this here. Boom, boom, boom. On another little bit of news, if I can get the right screen up for you. Another fellow, I get hit with this all the time, at least, you know, 5-6 times on the Facebook groups a week, definitely. And in my personal messenger, probably about 100 times a week. People who use Mac and want to install the Kira profiles that we released. A user put out another video that I don't know if he did it today. I didn't even look at the date on it when he released this or not, but I don't have a Mac. I have experience with them, not enough to say that I'm completely fluent with them. I don't have time for them. I've got too much on my plate, so the few Mac people out there that I had help with when they were testing some of the early releases, they didn't have any problem installing the profiles, but apparently there's a number of hoops that you have to jump over and beyond what you normally would have to with a PC. Yeah, Ben, I know a number of prop makers myself. I'm not going to drop their names on this stream or anything like that, but I know a number of prop makers myself, and that's not as strange as it may sound. There's a lot of people that are finally realizing the benefits and the usefulness of 3D printing to make their workflows easier, better. Bullis, if I'm interested in doing faster prints, most of the time I'm printing at about 60 myself. But if I'm really interested in doing some quick prints or fast prints, I've had great results between 90 and 100. I haven't had any or felt it necessary to go over that. A lot of people claim that well, you know, when you start kicking up those high speeds and everything like that, you know, you're going to get all sorts of artifacts and crap like that. And even at 100, and these are using the profiles I released, you know, I use them. Otherwise, I wouldn't release them. I don't have my own special set of profiles and then release community ones. They were working fine at 100, and I hardly noticed any ringing or, you know, artifacts at all. At those speeds. Crazy enough, though, some of the things that I did have to adjust when I was working with speeds that high and everything like that, I had to make sure that my temperatures were right, because you're pushing a lot of filament really fast. So you know, Bullis, maybe it's just me. If you're needing speeds that fast, this design or this style of printer isn't very accommodating to that. There's challenges that this particular design of printer is just you're going to be fighting it a long way. If I was going to want, you know, speeds like that, I would definitely be looking at like a Core XY design, or a even a cube based rigid frame on the printer. Yeah, I'm always interested in checking out new stuff that people are coming out with and everything like that. But um, also too, um, when I'm looking at how fast I want to print something, if even for a second, if my print quality is going to suffer at all, um, I don't do it, because I just, you know, hey, prints are going to take as long as they're going to take. Quality first. And if you can manage to, you know, juggle speed and still maintain the quality levels, and I'm speaking for myself personally, if you can maintain the quality levels that you consider acceptable and still get the speeds out of it, that's great. Me, when I started approaching like about 120 on stuff and everything, the print quality did start to go down, and it's like, no, I'll rather take an extra couple of hours or an extra few hours on a print and be assured that I'm not going to get something sent back on a commercial level, or on a contract level, and I just have the satisfaction of knowing that um, I'm not going to get up in the morning and, you know, come into a spaghetti hairball sitting on top of my printer in the morning. Yeah, yeah, Bolus, that's what this is all about, man. If you can, you know, if you can check something out, if you can check something out, and if it's worth it, man, document it the best you can and share it. You know, I mean, we're all looking to improve, you know, quality, speed, efficiency of, you know, the printers and everything like that. It's just some of the um, some of the claims, and I'm not tacking this on the Nova. I'm just going to say across the board with, you know, all these technologies. Um, Sometimes, you know, they don't always admit openly, you know, how many failures they had, or what kind of hoops they had to jump through just to get that print that they're showing you on the video. You know, yeah. We here on our end, okay, we've got some slice engineering stuff that's been sitting in boxes. Um, we've got the, and if Gandalf the Grape was here, he'd slap me for forgetting about it again. It's um, the extruder, the worm drive extruder. I keep wanting to call it squishy, and I know that's not the name of it. It's something similar to that, though. Anyways, we've got a couple of those worm drive extruders here that are waiting to go on printers, and we just haven't gotten around to doing it. The nice thing about the worm drive extruder is, hypothetically, you can get some massive speed increases out of using one of those, because you're now working with an extruder that is almost weightless in comparison. So, yeah. But anyways, on the screen there, that's on the, I've got the video posted on the Nexus website. For you Mac users out there, there's a new video, and I also updated the install instructions for the Kira profiles, that reflects a link to this new video too, because supposedly it's working better than the previous video that was out there that I had linked to it. So I can direct people to that now, and I'm really happy about that. Wow, stream's a little laggy tonight. There we go. And for the latecomers who aren't aware, Taz is out of it tonight. He's not feeling too good. I'm not too far out of it myself. And while we were talking, one of my prints finished. Using the Ideamaker profile that I set up for 020 layer height, and doing some high detail. I'll let that cool down a little bit and take that off here. Let's see what else we got going on here. For people who have missed it or hadn't caught the stream over the weekend, I'll touch base on this real quick too. Oh man, things are a little laggy tonight. Come on, give it up. There we go. And some recent changes that have been taking place on the Nexus website. I did mention it on the earlier weekend stream. Yeah, I'm working on it, BIOS. It's also possible to Gandalf the Great might be doing some pretty heavy-duty gaming right now, as well as flipping the bot on Discord. So that happens every now and then too. On the Nexus, I have added a bunch of new sections in there, especially for you modelers. Some of the things that I got happening this week, I'm finally getting the overhead cams that I wanted. It's kind of strange, I haven't even really mentioned those since the last time Bolos was on. So I guess you got lucky tonight, man. You're going to hear me talk about them again. I finally got the overhead cams that I wanted coming in. I'm going to be installing those tomorrow so that when we get into doing the other types of streams and everything like that, I'll be able to show you guys live some better stuff. There's also the casting side of stuff, a bunch of new video sections there. Oh yeah, and this isn't even, I've got, I said Friday night, I said I had about 8 categories. It's closer to about 12. 12 more categories of different types of learning areas and things that all directly and indirectly apply to 3D printing that are going to be going into the site. I've had a number of these already set up. I just haven't enabled them because I wasn't happy with the artwork that I was putting into it at the time. But it's all coming together, which I just noticed on the screen too. We have, over the last few weeks, we recently started, yes, Ben, it does. Those of you that know me, both in the artillery and some of the other FDM groups and everything like that, they already know I'm an asshole. And if they and you think I'm an asshole, when it comes to FDM, I'm even worse with resin. I've been doing resin for a long time, and that's a feature and a series of sections and categories on the Nexus website that I've been wanting to put in. I only work with resin printing primarily, and things that apply to it, both casting and the resin printing, during the summer months, just because of my scheduling and stuff like that. I'm also a 3D modeler. I do a lot of contract work as well as I've got a lot of my own projects going, and I kind of have different times of the year that I work on that stuff. So anyways, yeah, there's a ton in there. Lately, especially, I've been plugging Elegoo, as you see. I've actually got a really nice full-blown section devoted to their printers because for somebody new that's getting into this, Elegoo's pretty much kicking everybody's ass out there. I've got a series of resin printers here from a bunch of different brands. I've used a lot of them. Some of the brands, I've had their printers and gotten rid of them. I was also with, some of you know this, some don't. I worked with and had been working both as a partner and a contributor for the Wanhao company early on. The first primary mainstream resin printer that got dumped into the market at low cost was the Wanhao D7. I was all involved with that and involved with the upgrading and updating of that particular printer, and those printers are kind of the reason all of these other printers exist right now. You know, everybody, you know, copy of a copy of a copy, and the success of the D7 a few years back is kind of the reason why we're starting to see $200 resin printers now. So I know them all well enough, both large format and the smaller format like the Mars that you're looking at, and the slightly larger format Saturn printer. I'm going to be covering those on a regular basis, and a lot of our shows are going to be dedicated to using some of these printers exclusively on the streams and things like that. I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything from them, except you know, on the site here I've got some Amazon affiliate links, and if anybody's familiar with Amazon affiliate links, you don't get shit for that. I probably, on a grand total for a lot of the things that are on the site, I mean, even the more popular stuff like the artillery mods page, you know, for parts and stuff like that, for people to find stuff, you know, quick on Amazon and shit like that. There's been thousands and thousands of hits on that and everything like that. And I think grand total, since I started doing this earlier this year, I think I've probably made enough for a couple of 2-pound cans of coffee, you know, give or take a little bit. So there's been some whining on some of the groups and things like that, that my site's an affiliate site. And no, I like shopping on Amazon, and I shop on Amazon every fucking day. So it's just a quick and convenient way to get stuff. The stuff is usually there in a couple of days, and they don't give you any shit about returns in the event of a defect. So that's one of the main reasons I push it. Let me show another little bit of happy here. Bullis, you haven't been around for any of this, but when we start doing the shows that are relational to like the airbrushing and the modeling and some of the other type stuff and everything like that, I'm going to be mixing up the artwork a little bit. And I had been talking about overhead cams and things like that. I'll actually be able to work in my studio on that side over there, and I'll have overhead cams so you can kind of see what I'm doing. You know, that's going to be everything from airbrushing to detail painting with brushes and things like that, to kit bashing. You know, and, you know, just making models. I have, you know, specific interests of my own. I'm primarily, you know, into fantasy and stuff like that, with a little spattering of apocalyptic type stuff and everything like that. But I also do primarily jewelry and stuff. Yep. Yeah, I'll have different cams up and everything like that. This is just, for right now, this is just placeholders and stuff like that. And, yeah, doing things to improve the stream and everything. So go back here, and folks, give me just 1 minute here. I just got a ping on WeChat. That might be artillery giving me a call here. I'll be right back, and it won't be a 5-minute dismissal like I'm usually happening when I got Taz to keep you busy while I'm gone. It'll just be just a minute here. I'll be right back. Oh, talk about lag, man. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Wow. Mmm, curry. Curry. I have a weakness for all things curry. Well, sometime this summer we'll have a streaming barbecue. Everybody be able to show their shit off. It's something I got planned for a little bit later this summer. So, but anyways, that's pretty much with what's going on here. Updates to the Nexus website, the Ideamaker stuff, multicolor printing. I'm going to try really hard to get a package out for you guys by this weekend. But like I said, my 10-year-old set it up himself. He didn't say exactly how long it took him, but um, I'd probably venture to guess it didn't take him very long either. And I had it up and fully functioning in about 15 or 20 minutes myself. Um, I can't really pull the print off of the printer that's on the lab cam right there and show it to you. It's green. So as soon as I bring it on the screen right here, it'll kind of disappear like this. So I already peeked at it when I walked by the first time, and it's looking really good. The details there, I'm completely happy with it. Just some minor tweaks. Um, the Benchy's got another hour or so left on it, I think, probably, if that. Half hour, 45 minutes. And we'll be down before that. Um, yeah, Idea Maker's been up and coming for quite some time, and it is a nice slicer. And the only reason I hadn't bothered playing with it is because I hadn't needed to. The thing that's really um, enticing about it is, again, it has the manual support placement, which for me, those are one of the only things that Simplify 3D had left, and the processes. Well, as of today, I'm completely happy and confident that we can do multi-processing, and you've got the manual supports with the Idea Maker, so I'm gonna put out profiles and support it. The Benchy is it's it's being printed at 016 layer height, so it's kind of slow to begin with. The base speed I think I got set at 60, so it's probably doing like the outer walls and stuff at like 40, give or take. So between 40 and 60. BIOS, I looked at that and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to play with the beta right away, but uh, since the actual release came into play, I'll do both. I'll be make sure I'm confident with the release profiles that I got, that they're fully working and functional, and then I'll test them with the beta. And if they work with the beta, I'll keep that in the notes. I'm hoping they're not like Kira and don't fuck things up from one release to the next. Kira is really getting under my skin lately. Um, I got everything all settled out with or settled in with version 4.2 of Kira, and was completely happy with it, and still using it on a couple of laptops here. Haven't had any need or any reason or desire to change, and the only reason I started updating versions is because everybody was asking for it. And man, the journey from 4.3 through 4.5 was just pure and utter hell, and 4.6 wasn't much better. By the time they came out with 4.6, they finally fixed some of the nagging bullshit that was messing people up between 4.3 and 4.5, but they also introduced some other shit that's going on right now. And it's kind of difficult sometimes to keep up with the GitHub releases all the time, and what kind of, when you look at GitHub issues, you kind of have to weed through them to see if these are user created issues, you know, that does happen often, or actual function issues with the software itself. And you know, each slicer is kind of a job in and of itself if you're trying to maintain profiles for it. And I'm kicking into high gear for some of the other work that I do right now, like I said, the resin printing and stuff like that. So I want to put out the solid working profiles and kind of forget about them and not rely as much or worry as much about, you know, updating micro versions for a little while. Len, you know, the only reason I went from 4.5 to 4.6 is they promised me that they were fixing the retraction. One of the biggest things that's been cropping up with Kira is on its own, randomly, it will lose profiles or it will reset profile retraction settings back to the Kira default, which is like 6 or 6.5. Supposedly that was fixed in 4.6. And on all the fresh installs that I've been doing it, I went through and it's like I had the retractions for our artillery printers set to 2 and 2.5. And on all the installs that I've done here, it's been sticking without any issues. I've installed and reinstalled it countless times. I've done shitloads of remote installs for people and not had any problem with it. But there's some people out there that are somehow managing to get the retractions defaulting back to 6. I don't know how they're doing it or exactly what it is they're doing it. And don't take this in the wrong way, but there's a point where uh, I I can look into it and try to replicate what they're doing. But if I can't replicate it, I can't waste a whole day on it. Not anymore. Yeah, you know, Tracy, the that's Tracy Georgeland. Um, Kira Kira was doing really good in the late version threes through the early four. You know, 4.2. Kira was doing great, and then all of a sudden, you know, 4.3 from here on out has been nothing but a here's a f bomb for you, fucking train wreck. Especially for somebody who's trying to maintain profiles for you know the community and stuff like that. Hi James, and everybody that's new, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry you're kind of getting in on the ass end of it. We're not going to be going too much longer here. Our Monday stream is kind of usually a short one to begin with. Um, I'm just pretty much updating everybody, and we're kind of ramping back up to our better schedules. We'll have another stream. I'm looking at possibly even streaming tomorrow. I got some new stuff coming in that I want to show you guys, so I might kind of deviate from my schedule a little bit and do a stream tomorrow evening. But our normal schedule for Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is going to be dead on. We'll have that up, and of course our weekly Friday stream, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be, you know, normal. The topic for the stream this weekend is to be announced. It's all going to be based on what happens over the next couple of days. So like, subscribe, follow the channels, click that little bell. I hate saying that with regards to YouTube, but that's what you got to do if you want notifications about the streams when they go live. Yeah. Um, yeah, Mark, you say Kira 4.6 and not 3.6. You know, I miss the version 3 days of Kira. You know, everything was pretty solid. Well, Cornfed, I mentioned that. Hi, James. Uh, I mentioned I've got a shitload of stuff coming in. I've got new cams coming in, finally, overhead cams and stuff like that. Relational to the different types of show streams that we're going to be doing and stuff like that, as well as I've got a few more printers coming in that I'm pretty anxious about getting on cam and showing you guys too. James, across the board on just about every slicer that I work with, which is pretty much all of them, I'm hovering right around 2. I haven't had to deviate much at all. Like my Simplify 3D profiles, I never have to change them at all. I only work with about 3 or 4 main brands of filament all the time, anyways. So uh, people don't always take into consideration there are the type that buy filament, whatever is out there and whatever is cheapest. And they have tons of different brands of filament that they play with all the time. And I don't do that. I've got 3 or 4 brands that I just religiously buy all the time. And what I get as a benefit from doing that is I don't have variables that I have to work with, with my slicers. Yeah, the Ideamaker profile that I threw up today, the very first test print that I did, it was just a little weak. I had it set to 2, and I think I bumped it up to 2.25, and it's working fine. So, uh, been primarily 90% of the time I use eSun, probably as a kind of a secondary backup. Lately, I've had a lot of really good results with Overture, and I do use Sunlu, but I've gotten some dud rolls out of Sunlu lately, especially the white filament, which surprisingly enough, some of the fucked up prints that I've seen on the groups lately, they all seem to be white. So I do have, you can go to the Nexus website in the top pick section. I've got a filament list of the primary filaments that I use all the time, and the benefit is you can get them off of Amazon. You're more than welcome to go there and, click on those links. They're affiliate links, so I get a couple of pennies if you guys buy through that, but it doesn't matter to me. You can do it however you want. Fortunately, eSun too, eSun lately, over the last couple of months, you've all have noticed that filament prices have shot through the roof, and I'll come right out and say it to some of the filament companies out there. You guys are assholes. There's absolutely no reason, for the filament prices to be jacked up the way they have been. Um, we get it. Everybody's kind of hurting for money and everything like that, but doubling the price of filament and things like that has turned me off to some of the companies out there. And eSun, fortunately, their filament only went up like about $1, maybe $2, and I'm going to shoot some props out to them. I'm really pleased with that, and uh, you know, I've been using eSun for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've never really had any issues with their filament, especially the PLA Plus. This stuff prints like butter. Um, if I got a company that makes something, whether it be filament or a tool or something like that, if they produce a product that just works, I don't buy based on price. But it does so happen that the eSun filament has always hovered right around $20. Um, Gone are the days, with an exception to like wood filament or something like that, which I won't mind paying a little bit more for. You won't get me to spend 30, 40, $50 on a roll of filament. There's just no excuse for it now. There's good quality filaments out there that you can get a hold of that um, are still in the $20 range. And some of the other companies, like for a while there, Overture, Sunlu, Tions, which, I have a love-hate relationship with the Tions. They sent me half a pallet of the stuff to play with, and I ended up throwing half of it out because it was junk. Um, oh, Hang on, folks. I got to check something real quick. Just got a message here. Be right back. Less than a minute. Okay, sorry about that. I was hoping the alert that I wasn't getting wasn't meaning that my net was going to go down. You guys would have found out about that the hard way if that was the case. So, the everyone I've had good results with too. As far as the silks go and stuff like that, everybody's telling me that their silk filament is awesome. Yeah, good old Hatchbox, and I'm gonna shoot some props out to Hatchbox too. Their wood filament, that's the only wood filament that I'll use. I have gotten since, and I printed exclusively with it for almost 2 years. I've never had a failed print with the Hatchbox wood filament. That's in my recommendation list too. Yeah, we've subscribed here in the studio. We've subscribed to the MakerBox gig ever since they started a few years back. So we've got hundreds of filaments, different brands here that we've played with and test from time to time. And I'm not shooting anybody down for doing novelty stuff. Everybody gets into doing this for different reasons and things like that. For me personally, all the work that I do is pretty boring. It's all, gaming terrain, which that's usually just one color. It's either black or gray, sometimes brown, because it ends up getting painted anyways. And then sometimes structural parts. And relationally, how this applies to the foundry casting, I operate a set of foundries and do metal casting. The FDM printing, with regards in relation to that, I print molds and things like that to streamline some of the operations that I have for doing RTV molds and silicone molds and things like that, which that's all stuff we're going to be covering on some of the different types of streams that we're going to be doing here pretty soon. All of this stuff is finally coming together. Yay. Yeah, as somebody who also has a wood shop, um, the wood filament when it's printing, yeah, it's kind of like being out in your wood shop, which isn't a bad thing. Anybody that's ever come into the house when or in the shops when I've been printing with the wood or anything like that, they always ask me. It's like, what you building out there? It's like, I'm not building anything. Just squirting some wood onto a plate. Yeah, it does smell nice. The caveat with the wood filament is you have to be a little bit careful with it with regards to how long you leave your printer sitting there heating up and not printing. The wood filament, if it cooks or if it bakes rock hard into the extruder, and you will get a clog or a jam if you let it sit too long. So if you're going to print with it, get to printing with it, and when you're done with it, take it out of the printer when you're done with it. So, folks, unless you guys got any other major questions or anything like that, I think I pretty much covered everything that I needed to get done. I want to kind of get back to working on the Ideamaker stuff, as well as I got to get up very early because I've got a bunch of shipments coming in very early in the morning here. I got to get some sleep in. I might do a stream tomorrow evening, probably around the same time. If you're not following the channels, hit like, subscribe, follow, or whatever to get the notifications of when the stream goes up. Otherwise, if not, our normal schedule for Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be happening. And then, of course, our Friday stream. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed everything falls into play right over the next couple of days, because I got some really exciting shit that I want to show you guys. I'm really happy about being able to put some of this stuff together and be glad to share it with you all. Everybody say a prayer. It's not dire or anything like that, but just, hope Taz feels better. He is kind of under the weather tonight, so that's kind of why he bowed out on the stream. And we'll probably see him either tomorrow or definitely probably Wednesday for sure. And we'll go from there. Yeah, after he's napping right now. He got put to bed for a little while, so he'll probably be up in the next couple of hours. Or he might be lurking on Discord. Sometimes when he says he's going to nap, he still hangs out on Discord or whatever, but yeah. We'll go from there, folks. I appreciate everybody showing up. Like I said, I'm having fun doing this. I probably would have liked to stream for a little bit longer tonight, but I've actually got some work I want to get working on, and I can't really do both, so we'll go from there. Appreciate all the new people that showed up. Keep watching. Check out some of the new stuff I've got going on the 3D Nexus. Oh, something that just did pop up on my screen too. I had advertised and mentioned that we jointly stream to multi-platforms. We're streaming to Twitch, we're streaming to YouTube, and I just recently added Mixer, which is a Microsoft IP. And I just got some news earlier today that Microsoft sold their shit off to Facebook, which to me, screw that. I'm ripping Mixer as a platform off of the system because I don't want anything to do with streaming on Facebook. Facebook is bad enough as it is, and at least with Twitch or YouTube, we can have what I consider mature content. I can drop an F-bomb or something like that, or, we can flip somebody off and not have to worry about it. With Facebook, as soon as they get their fingers wrapped around a streaming platform and everything like that, that's all gonna, the social justice warriors and the snowflakes that are out there are gonna be all over that. I don't want nothing to do with that. So we're sticking with Twitch and YouTube, and I think that's gonna be it. Yeah. I'm not going to risk all the work I've done on the channels and everything like that, and being shut down off of Facebook or my Facebook accounts. I already go round and round with them on a pretty regular basis just for stuff on my personal feeds and stuff like that. I mean, they don't scare me and they don't worry me, but they have a very difficult time putting me in Facebook jail because I'm also a developer. So I go round and round with them about policy on a regular basis, and it just gets tiring, and I'm certainly not going to want to add walking on eggshells with our streams and things like that, because I don't think nobody that does this or anything has an intention or an intent on hurting anybody's feelings, sometimes anyways, or just outright doing something negative, or saying or doing something that has a negative impact on somebody. But that's also life too. If we can't be free to say what we want, even if it's in disagreement with somebody else and everything like that, man, we got to be able to do that. And I'm not going to let Facebook get into my streams. Ain't happening. So folks, appreciate y'all showing up. Look for us tomorrow, or definitely Wednesday for sure, and we'll go from there. Take care now.